What is going on, y'all? It is the Caveman back at it again with another video. And as you can tell, I'm not at home right now. I'm on vacation with my family out here in Tennessee. It's a beautiful view over here. I'm sitting in the hot tub right now. I needed to find somewhere quiet, and this was the only place I could find because there are a lot of people here and it's a loud freaking house. So this video definitely is not going to be what you're used to coming from my channel. It's not going to be as professional, if you will, as my videos usually are. A lot less editing in this video. I don't have a plan like I usually do. So just expect a condensed version of my thoughts on yesterday's game. Just because I'm out here in beautiful Tennessee, I got a nice view, does not mean the grind stops, right? I unfortunately don't have any Mott's applesauce on hand right now, but that does not stop me from plugging my favorite damn applesauce brand. Mott's is the best. You guys know the drill around here, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the Bills traveled down to Miami to absolutely beat the brakes off of the Dolphins. 5-0 was the final score. We completely demolished the Dolphins, just like we usually do, except it just wasn't in the fashion we're used to. Before I talk about the Bills, I gotta say, if I was a Dolphins fan right now, I think I would not be feeling too good. That was probably the biggest reality check that a team has ever received. I think the consensus surrounding the Dolphins this season was that they are just looking to close the gap on the Buffalo Bills. They're looking to close the gap on being a decent team, maybe a contending team to some capacity. And they certainly proved otherwise by getting just absolutely blown out by the Bills in a game where the Bills offense just simply didn't look good and the Dolphins managed to look that much worse. But who cares? I'm not a Dolphins fan. I'm a Bills fan. They're our rivals. I'm glad we absolutely skunked them and embarrassed them on live national television. That was fantastic to watch. Nevertheless, the Bills won 35-0. Our defense came to play once again. Granted, we played against Tua, who is probably a backup quarterback on any other team, and Jacoby Brissett, who came in relief of Tua, who is also a backup quarterback. We still look pretty damn good. I think AJ Epinesa certainly proved to be the MVP in week 2. I mean, that dude was all over the place. He was a wrecking ball on the defensive line. He was getting to the quarterback. I think he was the one that injured Tua. I mean, he blasted Tua right in the rib cage. That was a big freaking hit. But AJ Epinesa, he's been playing his ass off, and that's really nice to see because we really weren't sure what we had in AJ Epinesa. He really didn't make too much noise last year, so it's really nice to see his development come a long way. Of course, we have to quickly address the elephant in the room. The Buffalo Bills offense, specifically Josh Allen, is looking like a shell of its former self from 2020. Thought we were going to be able to contribute week 1 to just being, rusty. And, the week 1 jitters, we're playing in front of fans for the first time again, playing against a very good defense. I thought that's what we could write week 1 off as, but instead, the offense just once again did not look good. Watching Bills fans argue on Twitter with other Bills fans talking about whether or not we should be concerned about our team, whether or not the offense is just shaking rust off or if there's actual worry to be had about the roster. And, I think I'm really starting to lean toward concern more than thinking we're fine. I don't know, man. I understand the Dolphins are a decent defense, but they're just nothing compared to what we have on the offensive side of the ball. Josh Allen has owned the Dolphins, as we all know, ever since he's entered the league. Even though we did win 35-0, that game probably should have been 85-0. We had so many different opportunities to put points on the board. The defense was continuously giving us the ball, and we just were not capitalizing to the rate that we would have last year. I think people saying we're fine are just kind of deflecting the fact that there is actually concern to be had. Josh Allen just does not look as confident as he was last year. I don't know what the deal is. Brian Dable just not looking fresh with his play calling. That interception that Josh threw was pretty bad. He threw it right behind Stephon Diggs, and Xavier Howard made a great play. He undercut the route, and he picked Josh Allen right off. It was just a bad ball. If that's any better of a football, that's not in Xavier Howard's hands. And there was another throw where Josh Allen, underthrew Stephon Diggs. He had Diggs over the top of all of the defenders in the secondary of the Dolphins. It would have been like a 40-yard touchdown or so, and he underthrew Stephon Diggs, and Xavier Howard almost picked that ball off too. I don't think I've ever seen Josh Allen underthrow a ball when Stephon Diggs was that wide open. It was certainly something to see. I honestly think Josh Allen is just hesitating, and he's questioning himself. He's not knowing how much touch to put on the ball. He's being criticized about overthrowing too many guys. In week 1, he overthrew Emmanuel Sanders. That probably would have given us a game-winning touchdown. I shouldn't say game-winning, but I really think if Josh Allen connects with Emmanuel Sanders on that deep ball, I think we come out with a victory in week 1. It's just so weird. Josh Allen overthrew Emmanuel Sanders in the first week, and then in the second week, he underthrew Stephon Diggs on a throw that should have been a touchdown. So, Josh Allen, he's really concerning me. I mean, when's the last time Josh Allen thrown for under 200 yards, especially against the Dolphins? It just was not a performance that we're used to seeing. I gotta say, I really hated the way that we handled the running back room. Devin Singletary had the 46-yard touchdown carry, and then all of a sudden, he just didn't get the ball in the entire second half. Zach Moss fumbled on his 3rd touch, and his workload increased. It didn't make any sense. I think our backfield is almost similar to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or at least the dynamic could work that way, where Bruce Arians just runs the hot hand. Ronald Jones, if he fumbles, he's got a short leash. If Ronald Jones fumbles, he's not seeing the field the rest of the game. That happened in week 1. Ronald Jones fumbled in the playoffs last year. He didn't see the field the rest of the postseason. When you have another capable running back like Leonard Fournette to carry the rest of the work, I mean, you could do something like that. And I feel like we have that kind of dynamic here in Buffalo with Zach Moss Moss and Devin Singletary. When one guy fumbles like Zach Moss did, you can bench him and give the rest of the workload to Devin Singletary. You know, it just works that way. Don't get me wrong, Moss looked good after that fumble. He had more carries, he really rebounded, but I just don't think he should have been given the opportunity. You fumble like that, you're going to pay the consequence. You're going to sit the bench. Also got to give credit to Dawson Knox for the second week in a row. There's been a lot of unexpecteds in 2021, and giving credit to Dawson Knox was certainly on that list. He's been doing his job. He had a nice touchdown grab. He did his job in week 1, so credit to Dawson Knox. I hope he keeps that up. But yeah, I mean, 35-0. I never thought I'd feel worse about a 35-0 win. It certainly left me with some concern. Great and all to make the playoffs, but we got to be fighting to be a contender, and I thought that's what we were going to be fighting to be. But right now, we're nothing better than a playoff team. We'll make the playoffs. We are the best team in our division, but the rest of the conference, it is tough. And the Raiders are all of a sudden good. The Steelers are decent this year. The Ravens just beat the Chiefs. Obviously, there's the Chiefs. I mean, the Titans, the Colts. The Colts almost beat the Rams. I mean, the amount of talent in the AFC, there's no room for error. The margin for error for the Buffalo Bills this season is next to 0. I'm 100% positive that we're going to see better performances throughout the season, but still, you know, we can't miss a beat. If we're off kilter for one single week, that could be our next in the playoffs. Obviously, that's how football works. You're one and done. We just cannot ever be off our game, or it could cost us a first-round bye. It could cost us our life in the playoffs. I mean, there's just too much on the line. There's too much talent in this conference to be playing inconsistent. But yeah, those are my thoughts about week 1. You know, let me know about your thoughts down in the comment section below. I wish I didn't have to rush this the way I did. My thoughts are kind of all over the place, but nevertheless, I gotta say I'm leaning toward the more of a worried, concerned kind of mindset with the Buffalo Bills right now. I feel like I'm watching the 2019 Buffalo Bills all over again. A defense that's monstrous and an offense that just can't capitalize on it. I hope that changes. I just want to be a team that has both sides of the ball on the same page. Is that too much to ask? Okay, those are my thoughts. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, I hope you did. See you in the next one. Peace.